Hi, this is how to start generating your e-invoices on InvoiceX in 3 easy steps. The first thing you want to do is you come to company profile and then you create your company name, your RCBN number, your tax ID, which is compulsory. Tax office could be temporary, optional, and then your address, and then you come down to your bank name, your account number, your account name. You have to put the default rate of the VAT, should in case you charge VAT to companies when you invoice, and then you flip this as a VAT registered entity. Then you put the frequency of your filing here, and of course it's supposed to be 21st day of every month, and then you save. And then the next thing you want to do is you come to product and you create your product here by entering the product name, the SKU, which is the stock keeping unit, the price, and then the VAT category. If you know the product you can charge 7.5, 0 rated, or it's VAT exempt. Once you do that, the next thing you want to do is go to customers, create your own customer name, customer type, TIN, address, email, phone number, and the contact person. And lastly, you can generate your invoices. Now let's generate a sample invoice to see how that will happen. But on the dashboard, of course, we already have some data, which is your net sales, your VAT output, which is the VAT you are charging your customers, and then your input VAT, which is when you log in your purchases right here. We'll get to that in a second. And then the system shows you your net VAT position. Then we generate an invoice, and mind you, you can also generate a quotation, as we'll see. So for the invoice, you can either type in a new customer here if the customer is not already in the system, or you click drop down button and then you select the customer that you registered, and then the TIN, the phone number, and the address will auto populate, and also the invoice number will auto generate. Then the invoice date, of course, will be that day, and your due date will be as desired. And then you go to the line items, you create the product, either you pick from existing item or you leave it as a custom item, and you type in what you are offering. Let's say you are selling a laptop, and then the quantity is 1, and then the price is 20,000 naira. As you can see, that the system auto generates, auto computes the VAT for the 20,000 naira, 7.5, the subtotal, and then your grand total. Now, two things will happen here. The bank details you put in the company profile, if it's different from what you want to put in this invoice, you indicate that here. If not, you leave it as it is. And then if you are sending a quote, you leave it as grand total as it is, because it's a quotation. But if you are sending an invoice and the customer, you've agreed on how much percentage of that amount the customer is depositing, type it right here. So let's just save this as quote and see what it looks like. So you can see that on your invoice dashboard, this is seen as quotes, so you can easily download it. Let's see what the final invoice looks like. It's downloading right now, and it's going to open up in a second. So you can see that this is a quotation for this invoice number 832272. It has all the details that are NRS, FIRS compliant, and then it's saying this is a quotation, not a tax invoice. It's valid for 30 days. So depending on the number of days that you indicated on the due date. All right, so that is done. So now once you've agreed with the customer, and the customer said okay, we've agreed, send an invoice, then you come to this button, convert the quote to an invoice, you edit it. So this is now an invoice. Now the details will remain. If there are no changes, if the customer is depositing, for example, maybe out of the 21,500, the customer also deposit 15,000, you can see that the system will auto compute it. Then you click on finalize invoice. So you can see that the status has changed to finalized for the same invoice, which is 832272. And then let's download it and see what it looks like. Which of course the same invoice quotation would have now changed to invoice as opposed to it being a quotation. So you can see the header has changed automatically to tax invoice, and it's showing exactly what should be shown: your RC number, your TI number, the customer details, and also what the customer, the amount the customer deposited, and amount balance due on the invoice, and the payment information now shows up because it won't show up in the quotation. And then this is system generated invoice. Now, assuming the transaction has been consummated and the client or the customer has paid, you now come here to mark the invoice as paid. So we'll confirm the balance received. If the customer has not finished paying, of course, you can still indicate the next tranche of payment here. But if it's the balance payment, just click on confirm payment, and the system will tell you the statement, the invoice has now been converted to paid invoice receipt. As you can see, it's now converted to paid. So we'll download it now again, and let us see the same invoice will now be showing up as a payment receipt. So you can see that InvoiceX is the complete workflow for any SME, from quotation to invoice to payment receipt, and then to now show the details, the grand total and amount due. So this simply shows that for every SMEs who do not have a record, InvoiceX is the best way to go. And if you now go to the dashboard, of course the net sales has increased from what we did before, and then you now want to file. So this is your net VAT position. Meanwhile, I explained earlier that according to the new tax law, you can now claim input VAT. So that means if your suppliers charge you VAT, you can net it off your own VAT to your customers by coming to purchases and logging in, anything you buy from the supplier name, the invoice number, the description, the gross amount on their invoice that they issue to you, the VAT amount, and if it's 7.5 or 0 rated, for example, if they are selling you agricultural products, of course they will include that. And once you do that, just save the purchase, and it's going to come here and then can auto compute everything for you. So it's showing that for the month of January, the government, or in a way you don't owe the government anything. In fact, you had a debit of 375, so you have a negative value that indicates a potential refund or a carry forward. So even if you want to now file it, right now we're still in the process of registering the system with NRS, but for now it keeps your record. So you just come here and click file return for that month. So the system will tell you, do you want to file your VAT return for January 2026? So it's telling you the breakdown of everything up to date. So your net sales up to points you filed this is 45,000. Your output VAT is this amount, is your claimable VAT, and your negative net VAT. So that means you're not owing the government anything for that month. And the system will tell you VAT return filed and recorded for this period. And then for the compliance calendar, which is one of the unique selling points of InvoiceX. So that means that the system reminds you that your VAT for that particular month, which is by law should be 21st. If you don't file every month, you do it quarterly, depending on your agreement with your filing consultant, tax consultant. But this system helps you to aggregate and create an history of what you and your consultant has filed, as the case may be. So as you can see, this is January 21st, which is today. It's already been filed, and there's a filing history down here. The system has told me that I filed for January 21st. The filing doesn't go anywhere yet because we're still pending, our application is still pending to plug directly to the MBS for NRS. But for now, your consultant or even yourself, you can file manually, but the system helps you to aggregate that. So as you can see, the system is telling me I have already filed, because once it's 21st of the month, I'll click file and it's going to aggregate the current data for the month. As you can see, it has told me that it's 3,375 for my output VAT, and then the claimable VAT, which is also the VAT that I paid to my suppliers, is 3,750. The difference is minus 375, as I explained, that this is your net VAT. And then if we export, which is what your if you know your way around FIRS office, you can use this as a proof to go and file. So as you can see, the needs CSV file to give you the period, the date, the net sales, the VAT, and the net payable, which is amount that you pay FIRS based on your details. And I need to also mention that you can also come to your invoices. You can export all this transaction, just as we saw. You can come to your purchases, export, and then you can now present that to the tax agent or the tax office. So you can see that InvoiceX is the way to go for you to keep very nice records, and it's quite affordable as well. It's just 3,000 monthly for the basic package, and for the premium package it's 9,000 naira. Visit invoicex.ng to see the features, and then if you get lost at any time, there's a help guides section where you can see how to go about navigating around the file. And then if you want to have an understanding of the different tax exempt items or zero rated items, we also have a tab that shows you that. So all in all, this is the way for you to go as an SME in Nigeria, so that anytime the taxman comes knocking, you are fully prepared.